And welcome to the Coding Zoo's JavaScript Building Blocks series, where we're going to learn JavaScript together. If this is your first time joining, my name is Shane. Today's lesson, we're going to go ahead and set up a include JavaScript file and talk about the browser console, where we can also enter JavaScript lessons too. In today's lesson, we're going to cover how to set up the include JavaScript file. We're also going to go over how we're going to do various upcoming lessons, including how to use the browser console. If you have not checked out our website, thecodingzoo.com, that's thecodingzoo.com, check it out. We usually keep study notes for each lesson, and we also sometimes have a quiz program that you can practice learning the notes that were mentioned during that day's lesson. I would like to encourage you or your child to study those notes and take the practice quizzes so the facts from each lesson will kind of sink in. So that's a good way to remember each lesson. If you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in our introduction video to this series, you should have created a folder system that has a template file in it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and each lesson, I'm going to copy the file and create a new lesson folder. That way I can keep track of all my previous lessons and go back and look at how we did certain things. I'd recommend you to do the same. I'm going to go to my desktop here, and I'm going to grab that template. Going to right click, choose copy, and I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop. New folder, JavaScript JS, or rather Coding Zoo CZ dash JavaScript dash lessons. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open that. That's where I'm going to put all my JavaScript lessons. I'm going to right click, choose paste. There's my template. Let's rename that to JavaScript lesson 1, JS 1. There we go. So now I have my Coding Zoo JavaScript lesson 1 folder. I can double click that. I'm going to right click. I use Notepad++. You're welcome to use whatever browser you'd like. I'm going to choose Edit with Notepad++. Go back to my file system. There's a JS folder here. Let's go inside of that. We did not create a JavaScript include file. Let's go ahead and do that now. So new, I'm going to do text document. You should be able to see the extension .txt. If you do not, you want to go to View, and you want to choose show, click the checkbox to show file name extensions. That way you can change the extension to .js. So I'm going to rename this to main, and then change the extension to JS. Do you want to change it? I'm going to choose yes. All right, so there's my main JS. Right click, choose edit with Notepad++. So right now it doesn't have anything in it. That's great. We're going to use it later. Okay, we're just getting it ready for later lessons. Okay, so let's go back to here, and I'm going to open up this index.html. Before we get into that, let's talk about JavaScript. So in the introduction video, we talked about how JavaScript provides behavior for your HTML page. Just to iterate that, your CSS is for look and feel, your JavaScript adds behavior to your web page, and your HTML elements structures and describes your data. So JavaScript is for behavior. It's a programming scripting language. It has both object-oriented properties and also functional properties. Some people consider it a functional language, some people consider it object-oriented language, or at least getting there. And we'll go over that in later lessons. But CSS, HTML, and JavaScript are the core key technologies used for creating web pages. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up this index.html. I'm going to right-click, choose Open with Google Chrome. All right. Okay. So we have the index.html page open. We're not going to change the index page or the JavaScript include file yet. I just wanted to show you that we are going to do a few lessons that uses the console, development console that's built into most of the browsers. If you're using Firefox or Internet Explorer, just Google development console. It should tell you how to open up your dev console. I'm using Google Chrome. I highly recommend it. The shortcut for opening up your console in Google Chrome is Control Shift I, and there we have my console open. You can see there's different tabs here. Make sure you're on the console tab, and it may show up a little smaller over here. You can just drag that across to see more information. All right, so one of the things we're going to be doing is actually coding in this console, right? This is just when you want to practice JavaScript to try something out. So, for example, I might do this alert. Shane is here. And definitely follow along, try this out. So feel free to pause the video if you need to. There we go. So I created an alert and it popped up, right? So it actually executes your JavaScript statements as you type them. So this is the development console, and this is where we'll do our first few lessons. Okay, let's jump over to the file. So we created this main.js. Let's go ahead and attach it to our index.html. So this will be another place where we do the examples inside the actual file itself, working with the HTML. So let's go back to Notepad++. All right, I'm going to go to the index. So, where should you include a link to that JavaScript file? And some lessons I've mentioned, you can link to it here in the head. That's definitely an option. It's not necessarily the best option. Usually you don't want to link the file until it's needed, right? You don't want the browser to have to download it earlier because it takes a longer time to download. You want to download it at the last moment. That way the browser can be doing other things with your page, interpreting your HTML, all that good stuff. So I recommend that most JavaScript, you don't link it until you need it, or a better rule of thumb, or a good rule of thumb is to just put it at the bottom of your body. So you type in less than script type equals, and in this case, so double quote text forward slash. So that's a slash leaning towards the right. JavaScript, JAVASCRIPT, in my double quote. Type in source src equals double quote and the location of your file, and I believe I put it in a JS folder. So JS / and we called it main.js, main.js, in my double quote. Close the beginning tag there. Let's add an end tag, and there we go. So now my HTML page will include that JavaScript page inside of it. So let's try that out. I'm going to go over to my main.js, and I'm going to type in a little JavaScript alert, and type in Shane is here, and then semicolon. I'm going to click save. So let's go over to my web page. I'm going to close my console, and let's go ahead and click refresh. You should see an alert. There it is. Shane is here. So that way I know the page is working. So this is a really simple setup lesson. In our upcoming lessons, we're going to use the console, or we're going to use this include file to actually write JavaScript. You can also do your JavaScript and HTML using online tools in the browser. You can definitely do that if you want to. I recommend to get used to using the console and creating your own files. That's what I recommend. A lot of people like to use the online tools. I like to get used to what you would actually really be doing when you create the web page itself. So that's it for today. Just wanted to get us set up and prepared for the next few lessons. Come check them out. I hope you enjoyed today's setup. If you did, click the like button below. If you have not subscribed yet, please click subscribe button right below. That really helps us to get the word out. And if you want notifications on when the next video comes out, click the bell icon after you click subscribe. That way you will be notified when the next videos come out. Definitely leave us a comment. We'll get back to you. We will always respond. We'd love to have any feedback. We'd love to get constructive criticism on how we can make this video better for you. And just, hey, if you liked it, let us know. Give us a chat. So thanks for joining us. See you next time.